Nation Live 2024 season. I'm James Owen.
I'm Sanders Tisdale.
Welcome back, folks. This is a great honor, a new season. It's been a long time. The only bad thing, like you said earlier, Sanders, that us doing the show right now means it's summer's over and, it's starting to get colder. But, folks, we're going to a lot to talk about on this first show of the 2024 season. New coaches, new quarterbacks, new everything, draftees, everybody, injuries, preseason. We'll be right back after this commercial break.
Oh, yeah. Next up on Still a Nation Live. Hey, guys. Welcome back. Still a Nation Live. It's your boy Sanders Tisdale. We got a lot to talk about, and we're going to make sure you guys get caught up on Still a Nation news. So make sure you check us out. We got a lot of things going on. We got a special guest that's going to come on. We had some difficulties at the start of the show trying to get things ramped up and going, but we got it going. We never stop here because we want Still a Nation news to get out to you, the fans. And one of the things I want to talk about as well is the fact that the Steelers, James, the offseason will just happen. A lot of moves were made for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Games are played. Steelers got dilemmas all off season and is now heading into the regular season. So, James, what's your thought on what's going on with the Pittsburgh Steelers?
Well, let's talk about draft 2024. We got the players that we needed, we wanted, didn't have to give up much for them. So, first round, we got offensive tackle. We're just going to go over quickly, because we haven't been on in a long time. So new season, new draft picks. We usually do our own draft show. We didn't this year. It's real busy. It's just a lot going on, folks. And I'm pretty sure folks at home listening, you understand this. For Troy Fautanu, offensive tackle from the University of Washington, great pickup in the first round. He's going to do a lot for his offensive line. Zach Frazier, center, West Virginia. This kid is an instant starter, plug and play. This is what we need. This is what the Pittsburgh Steelers need. We need a true center. Third round, Roman Wilson, slot receiver out of Michigan. This kid is phenomenal. Unfortunately, he's hurt. Calf injury or ankle injury, something like that, slowing him down. And this is kind of stuff that the Pittsburgh Steelers do not need heading into the 2024 season. Also, another Wilson, Peyton Wilson, linebacker, North Carolina State. This kid is... You'll see him. I mean, if you haven't watched preseason, this kid is a beast. Number 5, Mason McCormick, another guard, another offensive lineman. You see, with the Pittsburgh Steelers, usually put a lot of money and effort into the defense. This draft is pretty much a lot of offensive guys. Number 5, Mason McCormick, guard from South Dakota State. The one draft pick that people are scratching their heads is Logan Lee from Iowa, defensive lineman. Really not that great stats in Iowa. But the guy's got a lot of heart. I don't know. We'll find out. And Ryan Watts, cornerback, Ohio State, to wrap up the draft of the 2024 season. Starting the season, preseason, Pittsburgh Steelers usually start off the season winners.
Yeah.
I think this is the first time the Pittsburgh Steelers haven't won a preseason game. But you know what, folks? We win all the preseason games usually, and really doesn't affect the season too much. With that being said, Sanders, we have a new offensive coordinator coming in.
Mm-hmm.
We have 2 quarterbacks, one a potential Hall of Fame quarterback, Russell Wilson, and Justin Fields. The kid's a beast from, we got him from the Bears. And the Denver Broncos are basically paying us to let him play. So, a lot of talk, Sanders.
Yeah.
A lot of talk about a lot of controversy, I guess, but there's no controversy. This is the people out there, the haters, they're always trying to stir up stuff. Tomlin, I mean, I'm on a lot of groups on Facebook and, Steeler groups, and already everybody wants Tomlin fired. The front office, they don't know how to get people, players. We always get the wrong players. Kenny Pickett was supposed to be the savior. Look how he turned out to be. He went to Philly, and he might not even make the 53-man roster. So what does that tell you? So, Sanders, we have 2 quarterbacks, quality caliber. We have a seasoned veteran, Russell Wilson.
Yep.
Justin Fields, young guy, 25 years old. He's been in league a few years, but still he's he's got a lot in that tank. What are your thoughts about a quarterback controversy or Mike Tomlin needs to go and we're already starting a season like this?
Yeah, and that's what they didn't need, and the Pittsburgh Steelers got. Matter of fact, the problem is that they got a young quarterback in Justin Fields, who has some energy. Me, honestly, I don't know about a lot of you guys out there. I was never a big fan of Justin Fields, and I'll be honest, I was never a big fan of Justin Fields. I thought he was a turnover machine. He's young, he's learning, and I think that will help him in the long run of getting better under the Pittsburgh Steelers. But right now, I think it's the time for him, in my own analogy, I think it's time for him to sit back, sit on the bench behind Russell, learn behind a veteran. And not just that, I think the Steelers are right now thinking of economics. They're thinking of the fact that if they keep him on the bench and let him play less games this season, then the Steelers they're not on the chain for a number one pick. Not a number one pick. I'm sorry. I think it's the 4th round pick that they had for Fields.
Yeah.
Yeah. It all depends on the amount of play that Fields has during the game. So I believe Pittsburgh, you know how Pittsburgh is. We always think of the money. We always want it coming to us. So I think the Steelers are going to right now, they're going to try to figure out a way to make a move to where they say, you know what, we'll see how far it goes with Russell. And if it doesn't get horrific, then we'll let the kids sit and try to get him in somewhat, maybe a little bit down the road, 4th or 5th game in the season. And I think that right there, we'll see how it goes. Maybe that's what he needs to do anyways, just sit and learn. He was thrown in a situation exactly just like that, James, in Chicago. The young kid was thrown into the dogfight, and it made him look bad. So right now, you got a chance to come on in to the Pittsburgh Steelers behind a proven veteran. You're actually in a good position, but he doesn't realize it. And right now, he's on a year contract with the Pittsburgh Steelers, and something like this right now could be what he needs to make himself move to the next level.
Yeah, but like I said, there's absolutely no quarterback controversy. I mean, Justin Fields and Russell Wilson, when they came into the Pittsburgh Steelers, we all know it was Russell Wilson's job to lose. So what the big mistake the Pittsburgh Steelers can do from here is start Wilson and keep him in there too long, and just and then throw Justin Fields into the lion's den again. But from the beginning, it never, like I said, it was never really a quarterback controversy. Is Justin Fields playing a little better than Russell Wilson? Well, Russell Wilson really hasn't. He had one series, the final game against the Lions. I mean, he really hasn't been in there to prove or to disprove what he can do with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, you have to take everything in consideration. All right. We have 2 new quarterbacks. We have a new offensive coordinator. We have a different offensive line. Now, that's huge right there. I don't want to say we're in rebuilding, Sanders. It's just that time of the season where you're trying to find out where people will actually gel in their position. And we have 2 top quarterbacks. We have a 3rd string and 4th string quarterback, Plumlee from the University of Central Florida, who we have, or the Pittsburgh Steelers, but the Pittsburgh Steelers have had returning kicks, a 4th string quarterback returning kicks. I guess they want to keep this guy on the roster, but how are we going to do it? We have just a bunch of players that need to produce, and everybody's looking at Mike Tomlin. I mean, I mean, he's a coach, yeah, but still, you got all these different players. You have a new offensive scheme, but it's not like, see, the fans of the old Pittsburgh Steelers, Sanders, it's just like they knew the Steelers were going to run the ball. There's no secret.
Right.
But the problem is right now, that's what the Pittsburgh Steelers have been trying to do or want to continue trying doing, but they're not doing a very good job at it.
Right.
So you could try and run, and then when that fails, let's throw. But it's just like you're really not getting anywhere with these dink and dunk passes. I'm frustrated myself, but at what point do the Steelers going to change up the offense? And, once it gets going, it's going to be hard to stop.
Yeah, I agree with you. And that's the fact right now with the Steelers. They have some huge drafts that they picked up, this offseason. And I believe these guys could be mentored. And you know what? But one of the problem is not just being mentioned, the fact that these guys have injuries. You got a lot of injuries going on out there. I hear a lot of guys on TV now for the Pittsburgh Steelers saying, you know what, we suck. The blocking on the line is atrocious, which it is. But you got to take into consideration that we've got young guys who don't have much experience and they're moving in. We got a new offensive coordinator for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and that's huge. You got a new offensive coordinator, you got a young line, and you got a line that can be molded. I think right now the Pittsburgh Steelers could be on a crest that, and you know how Tomlin is. For some reason, he finds a way. I don't know why. He finds a way during the season to try to right the ship. And that means by, getting these guys to block better. That means by whatever it does, he finds a way to get it going, James. And when I tell you, he finds a way to get to the mental psyche of these guys. And not just that, they're still starting off the season with a plethora of huge injuries already.
Yeah, and it's 0-3 in preseason. Like, it all depends on who you talk to. All right, if your team does really good in preseason, they're going to do a lot of good things that year. If they're doing bad, they're going to be a horrible team. Now, looking at the Pittsburgh Steelers schedule this year, it's horrendous. It's one of the toughest, if not the toughest schedule in the NFL this year. And there's a little time period where the Pittsburgh Steelers, when they come off the bye week in week 9, they go to Washington to play the Commanders, and then they go to Baltimore, play the Ravens. Then it's like Cincy, then Browns, and Cincy again, and then it just we play. We play on the 17th or the 18th of December, and then what? 4 days later, now we're playing Christmas. Are you kidding me right now? And we're playing it. We're a team that is we can't stop saying what a young team this is, a fresh team. These guys have not had a chance to gel together. And fans, I know at home it's very frustrating because we're fans too. And we have our show and we talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers. We have guests come on, and it's very frustrating because we want to win, but at some point in your fan life, you have to come to the realization of what is fact and what is fiction. And you just can't fool yourself. No expectations, no disappointments. You have to look at the picture in whole. What are the Pittsburgh Steelers? What are they doing right now? What are they capable of doing? And can they reach that capability is when they're playing? And you have to take all the factors into consideration is like new players, young players, a new offensive coordinator, just because you go in there and you say, look, we're going to run the ball. You got other plays, to work off the run. And if you're not, doing the plays properly, you're not going to win very much games. It's just a lot of pressure on the Pittsburgh Steelers, a lot of pressure on Mike Tomlin, and the fans just give him a minute.
Yeah. Give them a minute. They'll right the ship, but that's the thing. I know a lot of people are impatient. I get impatient, but the fact is the Pittsburgh Steelers, they can round the ship. Right now, this preseason was kind of a rough preseason for the Pittsburgh Steelers. We lost to the Buffalo Bills. Looked atrocious in that game. The blocking was atrocious.
Scored 3 points.
Yeah, you name it. The quarterback play was atrocious. It was just a horrible game. And right now, the Pittsburgh Steelers, they're poised at a point right now to where they can look at it, see their problems, and they know that it all equates to the line play. But you have a young line. You have a young, like I said, a young offensive coordinator. The Pittsburgh Steelers have to find ways to right the ship. And I think they can start that this week by, getting over a lot of injuries. We also are missing Roman Wilson.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of the good picks that we thought we had a young receiver coming in. A lot of problems, a lot of injuries. And right now it's costing the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah. I mean, he was, I kind of compared him to like Hines Ward, kind of very physical slot receiver, great hands. He's out, like I said, with an ankle calf injury. And just like, we're not immune to problems as well. This is our first show of the season. And if you look at your clock at home, we did start like a half hour late. A lot of stuff not going well with the Pittsburgh Steelers Steeler Nation live show right here. A lot of technical issues. Our phone lines are down. We can't get our phone lines. So folks, if you're trying to call, we'll write the number down just for next week. 585-210-3917. That's the number to call if the phone lines are working. It's just we're a two-man show. Okay. And we try to do the best we can to get all the information out there, set everything up for you. And then we all know it, if it's going to happen, it's going to happen. And right now it's the first show of the season. And we kind of expect this to go along with the Pittsburgh Steelers as well. First game, preseason, this is our preseason, right?
Yeah.
Doing our show and, gathering all the information and trying to have people, communicate with us with messages, phone calls. We love to hear what you got to offer. And it's just like, if it's going to go wrong, it's going to go wrong. And it's been going wrong all night. We had special guest Marquise Ogden lined up for the show tonight. Trying to get him in on the show. Marquise, if you're listening, keep on trying that link to get you on with the video call. Our phone lines are down. Man, we really apologize. I mean, you're setting time out of your busy schedule to come on the show, and this is what we have to offer to you. We're really sorry. We're trying to get you on tonight. Hopefully, if the link works, to get you on here so everybody can see your pretty face and talk about all your books that you're writing. And if you haven't listened to our shows in past, Marquise has been on show a couple times, and I'd like to say, super great guy, super nice guy. He played for the Baltimore Ravens, believe it or not. And yes, he's on, our show, and because he's very respectable, he's a great guy all the way around. And I guess he's blowing up my phone right now. But folks, that's how it is. It's show business, right? So with that being said, let's get back to the Pittsburgh Steelers and special teams. That's rarely talked about the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Right.
We finally have a punter. Now, Presley Harvin, who played for the Pittsburgh Steelers last year and a couple years before when he came for the Pittsburgh Steelers,
yep,
he was lights out. This guy would punt. I mean, it's remarkable. And unfortunately, his father passed away at the beginning of the season 2 years ago, and he hasn't been the same since. So Pittsburgh Steelers had to let it go. He signed on with the 49ers, and it didn't take him long to cut him as well. A lot of teams cutting some high price, high stake players that could be utilized, other teams. Maybe somebody at the Pittsburgh Steelers could probably pick up, but there's a name.
Let it go, brother. Let it go.
Listen, all you Steeler fans out there, I know you're shaking your heads right now. It's been it's been talking for weeks. We need that number 2, possibly another number 1 wide receiver. We all know what I'm talking about. Brandon Ayuk from San Francisco 49ers. And just like he wants to be paid, just like all these other players. And you know what might help us out is the fact that CeeDee Lamb just got, he got
huge contract,
all the money in the world. I think he got the planet Pluto as well. You're not going to get it if you don't ask for it.
Yeah, but you know what? I don't know if that was the best move for not Brandon Ayuk. He got a great deal from San Francisco 49ers. And the fact is, I'm looking at, well, actually, they never finalized that deal. I'm thinking of CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb got a huge deal from the Cowboys. Whether it's going to hurt him or not, I'm not positive. I think it wasn't the best thing to do, to be honest, because now you got a guy who's a high-paid receiver, but you got a guy who's a quarterback who's also getting about $50 million a year or whatever it is that he's due this year. So how do you pay that guy? Then you also got other avenues. Like we said, we're talking offline,
Yeah. Micah Parsons.
Michael Parsons.
So your 3 top guys of your team who want to be paid, they should be paid. Micah Parsons from the University of Penn State. Just had to throw that out there. Should be a Pittsburgh Steelers. And another player who says that if he left Dallas, there's only one team he would play for. It's the Pittsburgh Steelers. Mike Tomlin. And that's what the holdup with Brandon Ayuk. He had offers from Cleveland. He had a ridiculous offer from the Patriots. I think almost to the same or the equivalent to what CeeDee Lamb got in Dallas. However, minus the guaranteed $100 million. And I think it was an $83 million signing bonus. Get out of here. Really? And so now who Dak Prescott, this is last year of his contract. Micah Parsons last year of his contract. What are they going to do next year? Micah Parsons is out injured, believe it or not, because he wants a big contract.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. But the thing is, how are the Cowboys going to suffice all these bodies they got out there that needs to be paid? The bread's got to be spread around, and the Cowboys right now, they're in a bad position for that. You shelling out, $38 million signing bonus to CD Lamb. Now you got a quarterback that's sick, shaking his head. Is like, you know what? When am I going to get the money? I'm supposed to be the leader of this team.
Yeah.
So you just pay the guy that much. How much are you going to pay the quarterback?
Yeah, and your top defender. I mean, just imagine if TJ Watt was like kind of like, you know what, I need to be paid. Oh yeah, we'll pay you. Don't know when, but we'll pay you. So stick around and do what you do, and give us some wins, and we'll talk to you soon.
Right. Yeah.
I mean,
it's not gonna fly. They're gonna have a lot of issues in Dallas, and I don't think Dak will be back next year anyway. If he signs a huge contract, God bless him. A lot of Cowboy fans out there, I hear some that said they're ready for Dak to go. A lot of them said, you know what, pay him his money, but it is what it is. Who are we to talk? We're the Pittsburgh Steelers. We just got rid of Kenny Pickett, who was our number one pick.
Yeah.
And just for that, Kenny Pickett sighting, he made the team for the Philadelphia Eagles, barely. I think he was on the cusp of being cut. He had to battle the number 3 guy for a position, and barely did that. So I think he's in a second position, right behind Hurts. But the thing about it is, he has a lot to work on, and these guys see it. And pretty much, I think that the Eagles were even thinking about putting him on a trading block. So there are a lot of things going on with that.
Yeah, and here's another name I'm going to throw at you, Mason Rudolph. He just solidified the number 2 spot in Tennessee behind Will Levis. I mean, between me and everybody else in this room, I think Rudolph is a way better quarterback than Levis, but he's coming into that situation. So it's Levis's job to lose and Randolph's job to win. And a lot of people scratching their heads. They're talking about, look at the quarterbacks that the Steelers have gotten and thrown away, and look who they got now.
Yeah.
And it's just like you really need some stability. And hopefully Russell Wilson will provide the maturity, the experience, and the veteran leadership that he can, instill into Justin Field. Because Justin Field, he's been around, 3-4 years, but he's still got a lot of maturing to do.
Right.
And Russell Wilson, he still has a lot of gas in his tank. But Mike Tomlin and the front office have to set him up properly to give him a safe offensive line. But what I've seen in the preseason, I just don't like how they're going about it. With if you're going to drop back in the shotgun, you got to take more than 2-step drops. Not giving him a lot of time, holding onto the ball too long. But the opening drive against the Detroit Lions, I was very impressed. I was like, who is this team? I mean, 5-play drive. You got Cordell Patterson runs a 30-yard touchdown, and then the Pittsburgh Steelers took a 14-0 lead, and they just threw that away. End up losing 24-17. Well, like I said, preseason. But
yeah, but I look at it as a positive, because when the starters were in there, or whoever was supposed to be the starters, first, second string, whatever it was, they were steamrolling this team. Yeah. I mean, they basically were steamrolling. But you know what? Was Detroit playing with some of their backups by that point? Who knows?
Right.
But the thing about it was a good look to see the Pittsburgh Steelers finally doing something with that offensive line, finally blocking for a quarterback. And you know what? These guys, they faced a lot of heat. Fields and Wilson, they both faced a lot of heat. But now they look like stars that day.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it all depends on how your attitude towards preseason and how it's going to affect you from the rest of the season on. If you're a preseason guy and they do really good, you have hope. And if you're a preseason guy and they do bad, you want everybody fired.
Yep.
I mean, do you honestly think, seriously, come on, all these fans out there who, talking about Tomlin being fired after preseason games, and there's a lot. I don't understand where the hate is coming from. I don't. I understand frustration. Gotcha. Right. You have this coach that everybody's in love with. They just extended him a couple more years. But, like you said, Tiz, and your famous saying, what have you done for me lately?
Yep.
I get you. You know what? I understand completely. But, it takes more than one person to run a village, or whatever the saying is. And you have to take into account that it's just not Tomlin. There's people underneath him. Now we had an offensive coordinator who couldn't get out of his own way. Now we have a new offensive coordinator. We had a quarterback who couldn't see the field he was throwing all over the place. And then we finally get Mason Rudolph. He finally wakes up. We win a bunch of games. And now everybody thinks he's our savior. And everybody got mad when we got rid of him.
Yeah.
I mean, if something's not working, you got to move on, right?
Yeah.
And so it's just, what are you going to do? You're going to sit around and just hope things get better? Or are you going to make changes and try and make changes? And the Pittsburgh Steelers are doing that, right? Folks, trust me, I'm frustrated just like you guys, but I'm still waiting to hear from these Tomlin haters who's going to run the Pittsburgh Steelers. If you have a coach that has never had a losing season, right? He's got Super Bowl underneath his belt. Who else you going to get right now?
Yeah.
I just, messaged on the board. I see a bunch of messages right there. Mark Petrowski, hello, champ. You're a champ. You're a champion. You are a champion, Mark. And when we're in San Fran, Steve, like I said, phone lines are down. He can't call in. He can still text us. So,
and I got also shouting out Joe Testa. He says, gentlemen, the NFL season greetings. Cowboy talk is wasted time on air. Cowboys will be the same old self-destructive team again.
Hey, it's news, right? And it's news, and we got to spread the news, spread the love.
I'll tell you, I got Cowboy Kenny online. He says, been waiting for this. You know it, man. He says, why y'all talking about them boys?
Yeah, so we're talking about the boys today because that's what's in the news right now. And folks, we spoiler alert for next week. Hopefully we get, everything, all our technology put together. Folks, we're going to have one of the, I guess, almost our number one guest that the Pittsburgh Steelers have ever had on Steeler Nation Live. Yeah. The one, the only Rocky Bleier will be coming to Steeler Nation Live next week, 6:00, special show for Steeler Nation Live. We just got to get this technology set up, and I'm telling you, it's going to be a great show. I mean, Rocky Bleier.
Yeah, that's going to be huge.
Rocky freaking Bleier.
And like James said, we also want to give a shout back out to Marquise Ogden, who's going to be on the show tonight. We wanted you guys to meet him and talk to him. He's going to be on video, and hopefully we get Rocky on video as well next week, Rocky Bleier. And the thing about it is that, like James said, we ran into some problems to starting the show. So we apologize to you guys because we had a full slate of stuff we wanted to go through. But we do want to talk about and get to the Pittsburgh Steelers playing September 8th, 1 p.m. versus the Atlanta Falcons.
Hotlanta.
James,
we'll be down there.
Give me a score. What you think the Pittsburgh Steelers is going to do?
Whew. Okay, folks, hear me out. All right, preseason, no good. All right. Well, in preseason, you got just stay with me. Just stay with me. All right. Humor me. Okay. Preseason, it's just like trying to nail Jello to a wall. Okay. You got to throw stuff up there and see if something sticks. All right. And you honestly think for 2 seconds, number one, you're going to risk your best players of injury out there. Number two, are you going to throw out there all your plays or some of your plays or looks or whatever? Because, folks, believe it or not, these teams are scouted. These plays are scouted. Okay. It's there's no secret. So in hopes that the Pittsburgh Steelers have not, this is not what we have to offer for the rest of the season. I really, really doubt it, because Arthur Smith is a great offensive coordinator with the right tools, and he's got the right tools. Unfortunately, one of those tools is got a hamstring injury. That's Jaylen Warren, the workhorse for the Pittsburgh Steelers, injured in, I think, game 2 of the preseason. I think he's going to come around and be ready for game 1, September 8th, 1:00 in Hotlanta. The Pittsburgh Steelers are going down there. That's where Arthur Smith came from.
Yeah. The
Falcons. We got Cordell Patterson, and because of the new kickoff rules, that's why we got him. Expect some explosiveness. The guy led the NFL in kick returns for touchdowns, explosiveness. And you know what, folks? I'm going to say the Pittsburgh Steelers control the game, control the ground. Pittsburgh Steelers new addition, Piron. He's with the Pittsburgh Steelers now, running back, and he showed up for when Jalen Warren got hurt. The backfield, Najee had a couple good runs. We got a plethora of tight ends. We have a fullback. I mean, it's just going to be, nobody's seen the Pittsburgh Steelers defense yet at all. Not, I mean, Highsmith made a couple play. I don't remember. I don't even think TJ Watt played anything, but the new upcoming guys like Peyton Wilson, how many Wilsons do we have in it? It's going to be the Pittsburgh Wilsons.
Yeah, we got
right?
quite a few.
We got a lot of Wilsons on that team. So, get your scorecard, get ready. But I really have high hopes, Sanders, for the Pittsburgh Steelers to come out and show the rest of the NFL, show the haters what the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to bring to this table this year. And it's going to be a close game. I predict the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to beat the Falcons 23-20 down in Atlanta. It's going to be a great game. It's good. They're going to win. Chris Boswell's going to kick that field goal to win it, before regulation's over, or they're going to, kick the field goal, take the lead, and the defense is going to create a turnover and run the clock out. So I know it sounds crazy. I know it sounds ridiculous. No, I've not been drinking yet. That's after. But I really do. I feel it. I mean, I can honestly say this is genuine. I really believe that the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to show up and win 23-20. And if they win, then great. I'm a genius, I guess. But if they lose, we still have 17 more games to go after that.
Yeah, 23-20. You say Pittsburgh Steelers winning?
I do.
I'm gonna go on a limb and say, you know what? I think the Steelers might pull it out, and I say might because, like I said, we just played basically a quarter of good football for the whole preseason, which doesn't mean anything. I've seen teams go 0-4 during the preseason, and then like the Patriots, and go to the Super Bowl.
Sure.
But the thing about it is that they're playing a team, the Atlanta Falcons, who's no pushover. They're no slouch.
No.
You got Kirk Cousins, you got big tight end and Kyle Pitts, and Steelers were notorious for giving up yards across over the middle for some reason.
Yeah, don't forget they got Bijan Robinson, running back.
Yep.
I mean, he's like Jalen Warren on steroids. And you got Drake London, super quick, super great wide receiver for the Atlanta Falcons. I mean, great route running capabilities, great hands, great physicality. And you got also Kyle Pitts, who really was under the radar last year. He really underachieved last year. And you got to expect him to come out this year. And, first game's at home. I mean, I want to say arch rivals, but the Pittsburgh Steelers and Atlanta Falcons have some kind of rivalry when they do play.
Right.
Back in the Mike Vick days. But now you have Kirk Cousins, like you said, who's going to be starting, and you got Heineke, the backup. So, I mean, if Kirk Cousins gets hurt, you have an all-star backup quarterback for the Falcons too. But even with all that said, Sanders, I still believe you can't count out the players that the Pittsburgh Steelers have. And I think with a quarterback this year like Russell Wilson's, Freiermuth is going to be an all-star MVP. He's going to get a lot of routes, a lot of catches, a lot of throws his way, and that's going to open up for Pickens. You know what? I interrupted you. I apologize. You're going over your take. Go ahead.
No.
Go ahead.
But that was good though, because that was a good ad that I wanted to get on there. We got Reg Mattingly. You know what? MC Reggie Fresh, this guy calls in, and he's a hardcore Pittsburgh Steelers fan. Hey, my brother, we're having problems with our phone line. First show of the season, brother.
Why not?
And I'm glad it wasn't happening next week. Make sure you stay tuned next week, brother. We got Rocky Blyer might be calling in the show. Just want to make sure you knew that. So that he might be calling into the show, or matter of fact, he hopefully on video. So we're gonna have him on. I apologize to you, brother. Like I said, first show out the box this year. Started having issues.
Happy belated birthday to you, Reg.
Oh yeah, that's right. Happy birthday.
Happy
brother.
birthday, Reg.
Good to see you out there. And,
looking good out there singing karaoke and stuff.
Hey,
wow.
Reg, also make sure you put down your score for the game with the Pittsburgh Steelers going down in Atlanta. Give us a score, brother. We want to hear from you. I'm saying the Pittsburgh Steelers 24-14.
Wow.
And the reason I say that,
yeah,
and I went on a limb because from what I've seen from our defense can add pressure. And
Yeah.
right now, excuse me, with the pressure that they're adding in that front, if they can get that same pressure on Cousins, Cousins is prone to making mistakes.
Oh, yeah.
And if that can continue, I think the Pittsburgh Steelers can win this game huge. But they have to do that, and they have to be their defensive backs. They got some young ones there. But I think the Pittsburgh Steelers can do it. They can win this game. They can win it huge. And James, I think with them putting that pressure on the quarterback, you put pressure on any quarterback out there in the NFL, he will have issues.
Yeah,
I'll take that back because I like Mahomes. Mahomes is a guy who I think finds ways to get the ball to his receivers.
Well, look at this linebacker core we have. It's almost like the Jack Lamberts, the Jack Ham. We got Quan Alexander coming back. We got Highsmith, TJ Watt. We got Nick Herbig coming in.
Nice.
But one of the best acquisitions the Pittsburgh Steelers can do, Patrick Queen. Former Baltimore Raven, Pittsburgh Steeler killer, Patrick Queen. This kid was lights out at preseason.
Oh, yeah.
He was all over the field, and this is preseason. So I'm looking at that linebacker core right there. I'm not talking about like Cam Hayward. I'm not talking about all the defensive linemen. I'm predicting the Pittsburgh Steelers defense is going to be one of the top defenses in the NFL this year. And why is that great for the Pittsburgh Steelers? Because if the offense is sputtering and not going, the defense is going to keep us in game. This is what the Pittsburgh Steelers have been in the last decade. It's the defense. The defense wins championships, and the defense keeps Pittsburgh Steelers in the game to have a chance of winning. And so with that being said, the Pittsburgh Steelers, we haven't seen the defense at all preseason. But folks in Atlanta, I'm telling you, I feel bad for Kirk Cousins. I do.
We got Reggie Fresh says 24-17 Steelers. He said plus home away from home. So making it the new house, huh? Hey, that's what it's all about, man. I'm telling you. You got to excuse me. I got everything going on. Hopefully not a cold too, but
yeah, Jesus.
But you know what?
Really?
I think the Steelers can do it. And Reg as well thinks they can do it. And I think that they will be a formidable team.
Yeah.
They can keep it down. And all you guys out there who are looking for Fields to start, I don't think that he's going to start. And I know the Pittsburgh Steelers, they're very money conscious. So they're not going to start this guy knowing good and well that they're going to possibly lose a draft pick, draft position in the draft. And they can probably get away with getting something a little lower if they can make it to a certain game in the schedule. And then all of a sudden, watch if they don't make a move and put him in and replace Wilson. So,
but that's a tricky situation right there. When is too long to keep Russell Wilson in there?
Right.
And do you pull him too early? I mean, like I said, a future Hall of Famer. I mean, he's playing. Denver Broncos are paying him to play for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Basically.
Yeah.
We pay we threw $1 million in there for Russell Wilson and Justin Fields. I think we're paying a little under $5 million for 1 year for those two guys. So
for two starting quarterbacks.
Right, for sure. And if you pull Russell Wilson too soon and then you throw Justin Fields in there, that could screw everything up. Or if you keep Russell Wilson in too long and you don't give time for Fields to develop, folks, Steeler fans at home, we want to hear from you. Message the board. What are your thoughts? I mean, how long would too long be? Or when do you give them the gate? I mean, what do you wait for? We would like to hear from you. Unfortunately, you can't call in tonight. Folks, if you're just tuning in, a lot of technical difficulties here. We started a half hour late. We usually start probably 6 o'clock. We had Marquise Ogden lined up to come in, talk about his books and, about the NFL in general. And that's not happening tonight. So hopefully, and next week, hopefully we'll have Rocky Bleier on. Yes, Rocky Bleier, Super Bowl champion. I'm a Vietnam veteran. You name it. He was there. Motivational speaker. Great guy. He came to Rochester about a month or two ago, and we met up with him at a golf course. Great, super guy, Rocky Bleier. But
Reggie, MC Reggie Fresh also said as well that he believes that Russell is going to be the starter, and he said he believes Russell is going to have a great year. So
Yeah. No.
yeah,
Listen, if you have a rental car at home, right? If somebody's paying for a rental car for you, is it going to sit in your driveway? No. You're going to drive the crap out of that car until you have to return it.
right.
So, I mean, I think Russell Wilson, if he has a good game down in Atlanta, it's in a dome.
Yep.
So, I mean, it's weather's not going to be a factor. I mean, it should be this much a factor now, this, early in the season, this late in the year, though. But, I mean, there'd be a perfect opportunity for him to shine. He came from Seattle, went to Denver, got screwed because the coach didn't like him. And so, I mean, thank God that happened. So we have a lot of opportunities, Sanders, and the folks at home, that the Pittsburgh Steelers can excel this year, but don't give up on them, man.
Yeah. Keep the faith, brother. Like you said, MC Reggie Fresh, keeping the faith. All you guys out there, Pittsburgh Steelers fans, keep your head up. I think this might be something different this year. And I'm telling you, I believe myself, Russell Wilson can do well. The thing about it is he needs the blocking. He's got a prolific receiver. And then right now, I believe Pittsburgh is going to possibly make a move to try to add another receiver to the core. And we also got an injured receiver that's out there who might but who might play on day one in the NFL, Roman Wilson. So these are a lot of ads. A lot of things are coming out that you haven't seen yet this offseason because of injuries are so much for the Pittsburgh Steelers. But everybody's gelling, and I think there's going to be a change for the positive for the Pittsburgh Steelers starting this season. And I would love for it to start off in Atlanta. I think they could beat them. Kirk Cousins, good quarterback, quality quarterback. But I think the Pittsburgh Steelers, right now, they showed me that they can put pressure, and pressure causes problems. They both start with P. Pressure, problems. They all go together. I'm telling you. Pittsburgh Steelers, I say 24-14. You said 23-20. MC Reggie Fresh, he said, let me see what I had a score here.
I think 24-17.
24-17 Steelers. So, guys, make sure you guys come with us back next week. We got, like we said, we got a great call coming next week. Rocky Blyer coming to Steeler Nation Live. Make sure you guys stay tuned. So, guys, till we see you next Tuesday, from Sanders Tisdale,
James Owen,
back at you with a win from Atlanta for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yes.